Today we're going to talk about implementing radar feedback on non-testing days. So a lot of you obviously know how big of a fan we are of radar feedback on your testing days. We're getting that immediate feedback throw to throw. You're able to hone in over time on your most efficient throws. What we've begun doing is actually using radar feedback and really emphasizing that feedback on our non-testing days, so on our moderate effort and even our light recovery effort days. So I originally posted a clip of Billy Wagner about a year ago talking about how on his non-pitching days he would try to throw hard easy. And what he was talking about was trying to throw as hard as possible at as low a perceived effort as possible and really hone in on the smoother, more efficient, more sequenced mechanics even on his non-maximal effort days.
My pitching coach with Houston would say, throw the ball hard easy. I mean, and at first, of course, you're like, well, that makes no sense. But the point is smooth. If I can be smooth, I get all of my balance, all of my power together, and I'm able to reach my max efficiency every pitch.
The two ways that we actually implement this in practice is, one, you can pick a constant velocity. So let's say you throw 90 miles an hour and it's a moderate effort day. So we're going to pick 70 miles an hour as that constant velocity for that hybrid moderate effort day. And from here, we're trying to, over the course of the session, maintain as low of a perceived effort intensity as possible from throw to throw. So maybe that 70 miles an hour represents a 65 or 60% effort throw at the beginning of the session. We're trying to get more fluid, more in sync with the mechanics, so that by the end of the session, maybe that represents a 60 or a 55 or 50% effort throw. So really trying to hone in on the most efficient, most sequenced, smoothest mechanics, version of our own mechanics as possible as we go through the session. The second way that you can do it is by picking a constant intensity. So maybe it's a recovery day, your arm's a little beat up, and we're going to pick 50% intensity. So relatively light intensity, give your arm a chance to recover. But what we're going to do is, over the course of that session, trying to be as efficient as possible and ramp that velocity up while keeping that 50% intensity. So maybe at the beginning of that session, it's a 60 mile an hour throw, and by the end of the session, as we've ramped it up, as we've gotten smoother, more sequenced with our mechanics, and we're using that instant feedback to hone in on those most efficient throws, a lot of times you'll see guys ramping up 63, 64, 65 miles an hour. They'll get a velocity jump while staying at that constant 50% intensity range.
Here's a sample recovery day. Again, the focus here was on maintaining about a 50% intensity. Again, this is just one of the drills that I go through, but as a frame of reference, whatever you are with a red plyo curveball is going to be about 10 miles an hour off of what you are with a baseball. So 70 miles an hour with a red plyo carry is about 80 miles an hour with a baseball. So again, as you can see, this is a very low effort day. I'm maybe 20 miles an hour off of what my PR on this particular drill, 87, 88 with a red, would be. So a low effort day. As you can see, the sequencing is what I'm focusing on, trying to stay low effort but use the lower half, use my body, try to stay as smooth as possible, and I'm able to drive those numbers up over the course of this particular day and this particular drill from about that 67, 68 mile an hour range to, without having to increase that perceived intensity, about that 69 to 71 mile an hour range. So still being able to work on mechanical efficiency without having to take too much out of my arm, with still being able to give my arm a little bit of a break on that recovery day.
So the overarching theme here is improving mechanical efficiency via radar feedback on non-testing days. So being able to hone in on those smoother, more efficient mechanics without necessarily needing to go 100% effort intensity and brute forcing each of those throws to get that velocity. So still working on mechanical efficiency, but being able to give your arm a break in between those velocity testing days.